I want to read you a piece by James Lewis in The American Thinker. And I'm sure he wrote this with tongue-in-cheek, as they say, but after that Reuters piece I read you, you tell me if it's tongue-in-cheek. He writes, enough already with cap and trade. I say let's cap oxygen, and then tax any family that can't achieve the average family oxygen target of 80% before Obama oxygen trading scheme. Remember, if you weren't inhaling all the oxygen, or O2, you wouldn't be belching out clouds of noxious CO2. Yes, I know oil refineries smell bad and coal looks dirty, but none of that carbon would ever see the light of day if it weren't for all the oxygen you suck in. So let's get down to root causes. Here's the goal. If we can only get 5 billion people around the world to breathe 20% less oxygen per person, we would save the planet from global warming just like that. 20% less oxygen going into your body means 20% less CO2 outgassing, atom for atom. It's just like cutting down the world population by 1 billion polluting oxygen hogs. Capping oxygen is actually the hardest part. Once you learn to cut down your intake, we just set up a market to trade officials credit for the unbreathed oxygen that you could have inhaled but didn't. Let's assume for the sake of planetary computer modeling that you can personally cut down your breathing by 20%. Try it. Just hold your nose and breathe through a straw. And when you get that strangled feeling, just remember you're saving the planet. Do you ever want to lose weight? This is the ecologically responsible way to do it. It's the oxygen-sparing diet. If you breathe just 1/5 less oxygen, you'll be eating 1/5 less food because your body uses all that oxygen to metabolize your French fries and fat burgers. The benefits are out of this world. Now here's the free market angle, he writes. Congress can pass a law stating that if you achieve more than the mandated national oxygen reduction of 20%, you will receive an official U.S. government oxygen trading credit for all the oxygen you do not breathe beyond 20%. It's like price supports for farmers, except that everybody can play. For instance, if you cut your oxygen down by 25%, you receive a 5% oxygen trading credit to sell to your huffing and puffing neighbors on a free market basis. You breathe 30% less, you can get a 10% OTC. It's supply and demand. And might I add, if you die, then your family can get 100%. So just kill yourself. Save the planet. We've come full circle. Why control carbon dioxide when really what we want to control is oxygen, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Less people on Earth, less productive activity, make everybody poor, redistribute wealth, one massive worldwide scheme. I used to think these people were nuts. I used to think this was all conspiracy crap. It's not. It's right there in front of your face. Scientists from your own government proposing this stuff. Your own president out there pushing this stuff. It's right there. And I got to thinking, and I wrote about this too. Why? Why do they do this? The answer is simple. They cannot achieve this through the ballot box in America. They cannot even achieve it through representative government. So they achieve it through the bureaucracy, and better than that, by entangling us in international arrangements that compel, we reduce our lifestyle, we become poor, we become impoverished, that this result is compelled by international entities where you and I have no say in them whatsoever, and no matter how many times we vote or for whom we vote, once they're in place, we can't stop them. So the status is able to impose his will by taking the action outside our sovereignty, outside the sovereign United States, and having other entities impose it on us from the outside. This is a complete betrayal of the American system. We conservatives believe that elect representatives and good citizens have as their primary job the preservation and improvement of this society, the civil society. The status wants to destroy it. I say it day after day, night after night. I've written a whole book on it. Just look at them. Look at them. You can't trust them for a second. But don't worry, Colin Powell says we're not really interested in limited government. We're interested in small government, whatever the hell that means. No, Mr. Powell, we're interested in both. Limited, small government. You want to know why? Because we want to remain free. Because we're human beings. Because we each have a spirit and a conscience and a soul. We're not the same. We're not cattle. We're not sheep. We want to think for ourselves. We want to be independent. We don't want to be tormented. We want to be left alone. And we're up against the most powerful force man has ever known. The status and control of the United States government, where he turns, as I say again and again, the instrumentalities of our government against us. We'll be right back.
Mark Levin.